Thank you.
Now, moving on from that, you've said that you've done a lot of different movies throughout your career.
Yeah.
If you would pick, I'm not going to say just one because it's not going to be fair to just choose one, especially that most of these scenes are going to be all your babies because you worked on them.
Yes.
If we say, let's say top three.
Top three, okay. I would say Spider-Man No Way Home. That was very special to me because the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was, to all of us, I think, in my generation and many generations, was like, the Spider-Man. And this was like a big inspiration even for a lot of people and artists.
Especially that they brought him back in that
Exactly.
movie.
So this was the special part, that they brought him back. They brought a lot of the villains that we like back. And it was like a festive, happening that we all worked with the characters that we loved. I remember seeing some of the making of the first original Spider-Man. I was like in college still, and to me that was like mind-blowing, and I was like, will I ever work in something like that? And then luckily I did, which was awesome.
What did you do in Spider-Man specifically?
I was the animation supervisor of the specific sequences.
Okay.
And we were focusing on the fight that happened between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, where Spider-Man was trying to take away the Eldritch box from Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange grabbed him into the mirror dimension.
So you were focusing really on the cape itself, or the cloak?
On everything, of course, the clock, and even a lot of shots where Doctor Strange was digi-double, as we call it, or digital double, which is like a CG version of the actor. And of course, Spider-Man, whenever Spider-Man puts on his mask, 99% it's CG. It's us animating him. Even with the dialogue and everything, they change the dialogue many times post the shoot, after they shoot, so that they have all the flexibility that they can change the acting and the motion and the action sequences.
I think that's called ANR, I think.
For
the audio.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So that we work on a version, and then if they change the script later on, which happens many times on Marvel projects,
the jaw movement under the mask for
absolutely
that change.
We change the performance, and of course the body, motion of and the performance. It has to match what the script is saying, or what he's saying. So it's always it's a very dynamic process, especially with the Marvel projects. I've worked on Thor Ragnarok as well, and Captain Marvel. So I've worked on a few Marvel projects at the same thing.
Are they as secretive as they turn out to be on like in reviews? They say like there's a certain somebody in a suit with a bag that comes in with handcuffs to the bag just to provide you with the script and leaves mysteriously after you've done.
Yes, in a sense, but sometimes they just make it sound like more fun, as a funnier story. But yes, they are very secretive, of course, because a leak
makes sense, of course,
is a huge problem. So we have to always be careful and be very, very careful with dealing with any material about it. Even we have nicknames for each character, especially for No Way Home, because they didn't want to announce that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back. So we had nicknames, and they were all coming from Seinfeld show.
I'm not going to ask you for the names, so just in case they try to use them in the future, you wouldn't get into problems. So Spider-Man No Way Home is number one. You said we said top three, so 2 and 3, which
I would say the second one is Hotel Transylvania, because to me, Genndy Tartakovsky, which is the director, and he's coming from animation background, so he was an animator himself, and his style was stunning to me always and very inspiring. And I was lucky to work on Hotel Transylvania 2 and 3 with him, and it was like a school for me to learn about posing and about fun animation and different style, very pushed, very cartoony, very free. And it was one of the most fun projects I've ever worked on.
And which specific part did you work on? Do you remember?
Again, not specific part, but the ones I remember the most is in the beginning, in the wedding. There was a shot of the mummy and bringing in his date, and then his friend, the invisible guy. He said, "I got a date too, but we don't see anyone," which was funny, and it was a gag throughout the movie. And at the very end, we find that there is an actual
They're just silent.
date.
Okay.
Exactly.
And third.
And third project, I think How to Train Your Dragon, because I was a huge fan of the original cartoon, and the chance to work with the same director and to kind of work on something that I really loved watching, early on. I think it was a great opportunity, and bringing that to make it more immersive and try to push it even further for people to love the new version of it. I think it was a great challenge, and I enjoyed it so much.
Okay, moving from that, I want to just share something, because you working and you stating all these incredible projects should be inspiration enough for a newer generation to think, yeah, I can do that too. So what would your message be to somebody thinking, I can't reach there, but trying to shift that to, no, you can actually do that? How would you say that to them?
I think for me, I learned the hard way. I had to always try and trial and error was big part of my life, and then until I made it. But I think it's the message here is as long as you try, you don't fail until you stop trying. So whatever you want to achieve, I think you can, especially whenever we see something very glamorous or I want to work in Hollywood movies or big movies or something like that, especially in animation or any other part other than acting. I think it's they're human too. So if you're good, if you can be the best version of yourself, the best artist you can be, I think you can go anywhere you want.
All right, and I'm gonna use you as an example, as a role model to follow. Like we say in football, there's Muhammad Salah, and if there wasn't Muhammad Salah, there wouldn't be Omar Marmoush, and so on. I would hope that you would be the Muhammad Salah version in the animated world, and hopefully there will be somebody to follow in your footsteps that will also be proud of.
I appreciate the comparison, but I'm nowhere close to Muhammad Salah. He's an amazing legend to all of us. Yeah.